Sometimes you get a chance to talk to an absolute legend, and today is that day. I got the pleasure to speak with Murray Henderson, legendary artist, an incredible guy. He's done custom pieces for Michael Rubin, professional athletes, and more. And his likeness and airbrushing skills and talent are just next level. In addition to that, he's a great guy, and he sees this as the future of the art space. Stick around. Murray Henderson, the legend. Thank you for joining us today. How are you today?
Oh, I'm great. How you doing? I mean, it's a beautiful day here where I am, but you never know with the weather these days, right?
That's true. Where are you exactly? I feel like this is Canada week. You're from Canada. Are you currently in Canada or
I
US?
I am, yes. So I'm about 40 minutes east of Peterborough, Ontario. Anyone who knows the area, it's a famous hockey town, Peterborough. So yeah, so I have my
Understood.
studio here in my house. Yeah.
That's epic. Epic.
Yeah.
Tell us about your studio. I love just seeing all the art behind you.
Well, yeah, actually, this is a messy piece that I'm working on. I'm going to probably produce, a card from that, and then I have the worm. Which these are quite big pieces. I can show you how my studio looks. It's usually kind of messy,
Yeah.
but like as you can see, I don't know if you see all this, uh, but this is how I work. Um, I kind of have all my paints and everything on the floor, and I have about 5, 6 pieces going all at once. And the reason is because when I do splashing and all my crazy stuff, I use my trusty airbrush to do all the photorealistic part of it, and the rest of it
Sure.
is splatter and fun stuff. So that's why it's kind of messy, but it's an organized mess. I know what I'm doing in here. I My wife hates coming in here because she says it's just like a nightmare. But
I
yeah,
like that approach. I'm the same way. I need to be working on 10 things at a time, then it all comes together.
yeah,
So
and
you
that's
said
it.
airbrush.
Yeah.
You're mostly self-taught, but rumor has is you took what 1 week course of airbrush realism, and now you're just the wizard at it. Is that true?
Well, I always did airbrush before, and I wanted to get to the next level. So I took, yes, this very, very incredible course in North Carolina. He's the best airbrush artist in the world, as far as I'm concerned. His name's Drew Blair, and he teaches photorealism. So you can literally, like, you can do a photo if you want. I did start doing that years ago, and it just was so tedious and so long, and so I use what I learned to get likenesses as best I can. And I think that's kind of what has
Sure.
been setting me apart is that I have the likeness is all hand painted right from blank canvas, pencil sketch right through. And then I do my exact abstract, I call it. I do all my splashes and everything on it. So it's sort of a two in one. It's a piece of art, realism and abstract. So that's why I call it exact abstract. So yeah.
Yeah, your likeness is I haven't seen anything like it, Murray. I mean, it's incredible. Your pieces, especially in this day and age, the fact that it's hand done is wild to me. Now I know you were a excellent art student from the beginning, right? Weren't you like 14 years advanced starting in kindergarten? Tell me about your background.
Yeah, that's what happened is I was just born with it. I was always drawing and my parents and cousins and grandparents and everyone were like blown away. And when you get it yourself, you don't realize and like it's easy. I can do that. I can draw whatever I see. So I've always kind of been able to do that. Yeah, so I was assessed at a grade 8 level when I was in kindergarten and then of course the teachers started putting me in art contests and I was winning all over the place, which was kind of cool. I just didn't know, that it wasn't a big deal at the time, I guess. So that's how it started. And yeah, I've always drawn, whether it's, my teammates in hockey, I just sit there and do caricatures of them and make fun of them and things like that. So I've always been into art and painting and yeah. So, um,
Now you've done some monster pieces. I know that you commissioned some work for For Michael Rubin, he's got a piece in his office. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah, and it's a pretty big piece. I think it was like I'm gonna say 7 feet by 7 feet. And it's his whole his whole kind of card, and all the athletes that the Fanatics have, sort of all in one. It was sort of his life in one. I did it along with his wife. She kind of helped me out with what I should have on there. So yeah, it was
I
pretty
think I
cool.
saw a picture of that piece. You put his own likeness in that painting, didn't you? With Tom Brady and Aaron Judge and some other
Yeah,
athletes, right?
yeah, and the funny thing is, I asked her, I said, should I put Michael in there? And she goes, no, he doesn't want to be seen as. So I said, well, what if I put a little piece in there, kind of make it cool and, dripping? And she said, okay. And yeah, and he actually noticed it, and she made fun of it and said, oh, look, and even a little Mikey in there, I think it said. So
It's well hidden, but once you see it, you can see it, right? That's what I love about your work is you have these almost hidden images that once you see it, you can't unsee it. But it's amazing how it all comes together. That was a beautiful piece you did. I saw it.
Oh yeah, thank you. Yeah, and I like doing that. I like tricking the eye in a lot of people. And at the national, I had my big booth there, and a lot of my pieces have like say the big one I have with Kobe staring out at you. It's his whole face, but he's got the jersey in his mouth, and people never notice. But in the jersey, he right here is him dunking. And people don't notice. I have to point it out. And when I do, they go, oh, and then they start looking in the other ones, and that's how it happens. So it's a conversation piece, right?
Yeah,
And that's kind of what I like is I don't want it to just be a portrait. That's what makes
sure.
mine a little different. I want it to be a piece of art, excitement, and a lot of hidden things. So
Yeah, and
yeah.
you've done work for what CEO Rock Nation, and you're talking to Cam Newton and other professional athletes, and you're currently working on customs. Tell us a little bit about all the exposure you've had and some of the custom work you've done for some of these individuals.
Well, yeah, I mean, we do an event in Miami where we have athletes come by, and I've done work with the Griffin brothers from the NFL, and we're working on a whole bunch of other ones. There's so many coming up. I don't even know the schedule. I know it starts in October, and I think it's every month we're away traveling. So it's getting big. I really really love this art card business because my pieces. I don't know if you saw them, but I had a couple actual canvas card pieces that are actually hand embellished by me, like literally painted, right?
Okay.
And they're real true one of ones, just like um, when we do a low number on the cards, I use the actual art that I've painted that we put on, and I will do something to each piece, like with my hand. So it makes them true 101s, not just a number on it. And I love
Yeah.
that. I think it's so cool because some people can't afford a big, huge piece or a painting, but they can afford a card, and the card hopefully will just continue to grow through popularity and collectability. Um, and like I'm trying to get people to realize that art is a big part of cards. Like it was way back. They always did airbrush and everything back in the old days to make the cards look better, or they like uh, when you look at them they're not better, but they thought they
Yeah.
were looking better by adding color. And so we've got to get the whole industry to realize that there's an original piece of art to go with the art cards as well. So that kind of makes it even more of a collectible because people who are buying the cards, someone could actually own the actual original piece of art too.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
art is the number one collectible and investment in the world, even more than real estate. Um,
Sure.
and that's where it's like my mind just keeps growing. I got so many pieces that I think I could do some incredible cards with. So I'm really excited about this. I think it's crazy great.
It's a
So
great it's a great space, like you said, Murray, because I got to tell you, I'm a married man, happily married. Okay, my
yeah,
wife is gorgeous,
yeah,
but there's zero chance I'm hanging a 7 foot by 7 foot painting of anything in this household, but a card size piece of art all
Yeah.
day long, right?
Yeah, and you see, you got I'm married, beautiful wife, same thing. And I have some of my older pieces in the house. Like I have my original John Lennon, which is my very first print I did. And I have some wildlife pieces that I used to dabble in that. But I'm I'm seeing three different collectors. I'm seeing, like what you said, you can't have the big pieces, even though some people see it and go, "Oh my gosh, I could use that in my office, or I could put that
Oh
in my
yeah, for
man
sure.
cave," or
Yeah,
right. But it's usually the people who have a big office or a company or corporation or places. They're the ones that'll buy the original painting part of it.
yeah.
And then there's the guys like you who have, it's an art collection just as much as anything, really. These cards are art. So you've got kind of a art card memorabilia all in one. I think it's a great, great thing. And it's getting people involved in the art industry too, which
Yeah.
maybe one day you will have some monster piece that you've always wanted in the house. And of course your wife
No
has to
doubt, right?
agree
I
with
just
you.
have to quarantine myself off, right, to some corner of the house that the wife doesn't enter. Once I get there, yeah, I'm going to have Murray Henderson pieces as my wallpaper.
Well, it's funny because I got a friend of mine through card shows that started collaborating and giving me his pieces to add into originals that he commissions me for. So I'm putting his cards, game use tickets, everything in these pieces. Like putting them actually physically in the painting themselves. So the cards and everything will go right on this, and they built right in, so they're flush. And he was a card collector. Now he's got two or three of my pieces with his cards in them, and he's starting to kind of outreach and go for that kind of stuff too. So it's kind of opened up the door to other kind of collectors as well, which is really, really good for us
That's
artists,
incredible.
especially.
Yeah. And you're working on a piece upstairs, if I'm not mistaken, right? That has even incorporated pieces of memorabilia into your art again, right? I love this touch that you do.
Yeah, yeah, and I could actually walk you up if you want.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Take
yeah,
us
I'll do
up.
that. We can
Yeah, I'll
keep
keep
talking,
talking
and
while you walk. Yeah.
yeah, and I'll go up my stairs and I'll show you, how it works, and
So I want to
yeah,
go
it's
back to what you said earlier. You actually produced an art card size piece on canvas, hand painted?
yes. So now, actually, it's not. It's from one of my paintings. So it's
Okay.
a jit clay print on
Got it.
canvas. So it's a high.
Yep.
It's never fade. It's a real good copy. So you can see I'm upstairs now. So what I'm going to do is turn the camera before I go on. So I have right here on the floor. You can.
Oh, that's so sick.
So So this is for a private collector in Chicago who I've got to know through art shows, and this is all his son's autographed jerseys from the seven guys in the painting. So what I do is I'm going to incorporate them around the painting, and it'll be part of that whole thing, and it's a big piece. So here I'll show you sort of from far away. So it's that's
Oh,
kind of
that's
how it's going to
incredible.
look. Yeah.
That's going to look so good.
Yeah, and as I say, that's a 9 foot by 7 foot piece. So I have to have it up here on the floor. And then what I'm going to do later today is I'm actually going to have him. I'm going to go down my stairs again. I'm going to have him on a call with me. Sorry, it's gone dark.
You good?
And I'm going to have him with me on a video so he can watch what I'm doing with the jerseys and tell me if he likes them or not live. So I
That's
work
awesome.
with I work with every person who sends me memorabilia or hockey sticks, baseball bats, whatever it is, and I will do a FaceTime call or however we do it, and I'll say, "How do you like it here?" And I'll place it on the piece. So they are part of it too. So they're telling me, "Yeah, I don't like it there. Can you move it?" So make what I do is I work with them. So when they get the finished product, it's how they wanted it to look. So
That's incredible, right? Guaranteed customer satisfaction.
yeah,
That's
and
the
I
right
mean,
approach, Murray.
well, yeah, and I mean, like especially when you're dealing with memorabilia. See, these aren't game worn jerseys,
Yeah.
so he's not as concerned about, keeping the. I guess not ripping them or or getting paint on them or where I have worked with actual game worn jerseys and game used equipment that you have to be very careful with. So I always make sure that, we don't hurt the integrity of the memorabilia. And that's where we got to be very careful with that kind of stuff. But when you're dealing with the athletes themselves who have actually worn them, they want it to look how they want it to look. And they don't care if there's paint on it or if you rip it or like for instance, Ryan Anderson and I did one with his game worn jersey. He's an NBA player, and his nickname was the Flamethrower. So he wanted me to actually torch his jersey, game worn jersey, which is us people that are in the industry and know about collectibles and stuff. We're like, oh
Yeah.
my, like what? But these guys, it was their jersey. They however they want it, I do it. So that's
Sure.
the most fun for me is being able to do something like with these guys and crazy stuff, right? So
And you
and
grew up a collector, right? A sports cards collector, and now you're artist. You're merging your two loves. What's the
yeah,
reaction like when you're at sports card shows? Because it's a leap, right? It's a leap to get from sports cards to art pieces. For some people, that's a small little puddle jump, and other people might not be willing to take that dive. But like you said, that connection, they're so close, and it just needs to be bridged. What are you seeing out there when you're at these shows?
I see I see every single person stops and goes, oh my god, I've never seen anything like it. And you're starting to see more artists at these shows. I think they're at the national, there's 4 or 5 of us. And I think it's just what we're doing with the sports art end of it is we're extending the memorabilia and card industry a little further for people that do have the room or space to actually use and want to put up the actual original painting
Sure.
from the cards that people are purchasing. I mean, I think it's going to happen really quick and soon because once my memorabilia piece is like the one I have, I still believe it's going to go soon. Is the Wayne Gretzky? It's his second career hat trick, game used stick autographed on the piece, and
Oof.
like I mean that's a museum piece.
Yeah.
And then we have pieces with Kobe's game worn photo match shoes autographed by him on the piece. So these kind of the people that are collecting cards are incredible, and I love looking at people's collections. And I sometimes I get when they start showing me their $100,000 cards and things, I get all nervous because like you see them opening up a box at a card show and showing you these things, and it's wow, how are you walking around a show with all this kind of value?
Right.
But then on the other means, I see these people that are saying, I got this space in my office. Is that the piece of art you did to do that? And they're asking more and more questions. So I think what's happening is people are realizing that the art is a big part, and I think it's going to just continue to grow. And the card art is really helping all of us artists because people are realizing that one of one in art is really cool and collectible. And if you got the means to do it, get into it now. Because
Um.
if this is the next big thing and you can get in early, like you're laughing, So
Yeah.
I mean, I got some young collectors that they're 12, 13, 14-year-olds that are buying my G clays, which I only do 5 of each.
Okay.
So all my card pieces, like the Mickey Mantles and all those that I've done, I only do 5 of each. So when they're gone, like, and each one is one-on-one because they are all hand embellished with different embellishments, and these kids are buying them now, and I think it's a great investment for these guys. So
Sure. Well, you hit it too, right? There's the investment side, but there's the collectability and there's the conversation side. I myself love the community and I like the conversation piece. And I used to have a massive sports card collection. I like you have just a love of sports. I used to play, so I collect too. And over time, I found that when I show a one of one Barry Sanders card, and then someone else shows their 100 iterations of Barry Sanders one of one cards, it's not as, I don't know, it's not as fun for me. The conversation is just like, well, yes, this is from 2019 Panini.
Yeah,
That's where the conversation ends, right?
I know.
Whereas your art and other artists, there are layers and there's a story to tell. And it's not just like, well, this came out of a box. No, there was love put on canvas here.
Yeah, and I think that's the whole thing with art is that it is collected by a lot of the most wealthy people in the world. I mean, an art collection is one of their number one investments. So I mean, Kevin O'Leary he just purchased that card. What, last week was it, for 12.6
Yeah,
million or
over 12
something?
million. Yeah.
And like, yeah, that's really cool because it was, was it a logo man, I believe, or
Yeah, it was a dual
y-
logo. What, Kobe
so
and Jordan, I think.
yeah, so I mean, those are incredible because that is an actual real cool piece that was worn, and I get it. But you've also got like art cards that are even more probably rare than those kind of things because that was printed, and done hundreds and thousands of them or whatever, and then they put the jersey parts in. So yeah, you want to find excuse me, find those, and it's so exciting for the investor. But these art cards, I mean, looking at some of the other artists and things, there's some true one-on-ones that are incredible. And the time
Yeah.
and the patience and the love that's put into these things on our part is so much more, I think. Now, that's me as an artist talking here, but I got to start saying,
Sure.
you guys have to get on board with this. Like, all the whole card industry and all
Yeah.
the memorabilia people have to start realizing, it's a big thing. So,
Well, the other piece is the risk. I mean, you can go out and buy a $12 million dual logo man, or I am assuming your pieces don't cost 12 million a piece. Is that right, Murray? Are you charging 12 million, Murray?
yeah, I wish. That'd be great. I mean, no, and that's the thing is, imagine you could have, I've got that one piece with Jordan, the wings piece, and I have the red game used floor from the United Center, the red part of the floor, which is very hard to get, and an incredible big autograph on it. And my price for that at the National is 125,000. Now, if that was a card piece, it it would be 12 million. So
Sure.
I'm trying to figure out, well, how do we get, you know, the memorabilia people to realize that that is a real one-of-one original piece of art that was created from scratch. I'd love
Right.
it if people would start realizing that, and then maybe from that we do cards, right?
Yeah.
I don't know,
Yeah.
like it's the card thing for me when I was working with Zach at the National, and he does such a wonderful job. Collector, creative collect, yeah,
Right.
collector creative,
Yeah.
and he does such a wonderful job, and he did such a great job with my art on it. I was blown away with what he did, and to know that they sold out as quickly as they did was an eye opener to me, and I was like, wow, there's something special going on here. So
There's something special. And I saw some of those pieces. I saw a Brady piece, which, by the way, I tried to get. I think they were going for what, $350? Does that
yeah,
sound about right?
350. Yeah,
$350 for essentially a miniaturized version, card art size version of what you do. And that Brady piece stood out to me personally. One, because I mean he's Brady, and two, again, I personally just love your style. And like you said, the likeness, and there's so much going on. And it's cool to see. I like clean art. I also like abstract art, right? I have an appreciation for both, but having images on top of images on top of images, and not using Photoshop just hits me right, Murray. Can I tell you, it hits me right. And
Yeah.
$350 is like, how do you
I,
not go for it?
yeah, and that's what I wasn't sure. I mean, like like I collected cards for years, and I wasn't sure people were going to jump on it. And then when Zach told me that I think two or three of the sets were sold out in the first day, I was like, oh wow, like that's cool. So I guess the style on the cards really work because it is different, and
Yeah.
these cards are supposed to be different. And the realism and abstract kind of work on the cards, I believe. I think it really makes it look cool. Um, and I thought shrinking them down so much may take away from it, but it didn't. It actually made them look pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I was really happy with them, and as they say, Zach does such a wonderful job with them. I just want to keep creating my art and saying, "Here you go, Zach. Keep keep going."
Yeah. That's the right
um,
approach.
yeah,
Because I have such specific tastes. I'll just talk about myself for a second, Murray. And
yeah,
when I walk around card shows, I have a local show here. It's the CSA show in Chantilly for those that have been to that show. But I walk around and I used to get, like I said, the highest end of the highest end sports cards. So we're talking flawless football or NT. I'm a football guy primarily. And now I'm not dropping millions of dollars. I'm finding some for a couple grand. But I walk quickly. Like I said, I'm married and I have two kids, especially so if the kids are with me, we walk quickly through the show
yeah,
and I just scan very, very rapidly a table. If I walked by a table with art pieces and there was one there, I stop in my tracks because it's just different, right? It's just fundamentally different. I can see cards all day. And when I see something like a Murray Henderson piece or a Piggybanx piece or a collector creative piece, it just stops me because it's like, what is this again? And the price point, again, to me makes it a no brainer. What are your plans? Are you going to continue? I assume you're just going to continue doing all different mediums, card size, wall size, sounds like house size. What are your plans, Murray?
yeah. Exactly. I want to do it. I want to be basically when you say $350 and you get a great set. I mean, it comes in a real solid, collector piece is what it is. And like I want to have that. I want to have a comic book size. And then like maybe a 1824 and do all different size. So there's something for everyone in the market. You're going to get a couple billionaires walking around a show. You never know. And those are the guys that go for the high end. Maybe it's an original piece for their office or whatever. But let's say 95% of the people are walking around, and they're the ones that are going to buy the $350 piece cards. If they sell out like it did at the National, all of a sudden you've got a sold out edition. That
Yeah,
to me, like what if 2 years from now, every single art card piece is now what the big collectors are looking for. You've got yourself a great investment, and a
sure.
$350 piece could turn into $350,000. This is what it's all about, right? For a lot of people, if it's not about collecting art, maybe it is an investment. And I think
Sure.
keeping it so there's all different aspects of a card. Like I'd like to do with all my card sets, I keep them low. Zach was doing 13 only. Um,
Okay.
if I did five of each, or like I do that with my Jaclays. From every piece of art that I do, I only do 5 copies. And all 5 copies we call them Jaclays in the industry, and they're actually a high museum quality print on canvas that is almost identical to the original. Like you can't really tell. And then I hand embellish and add more to them. So a lot of the Jaclays I was working on at the National for people who purchased them, I asked them, do you want me to put something personal on it, or do you want me to add something to it? So I can do that too. So they are
That's
all one of
awesome.
ones. And there's no reason why I can't do that with cards. I can be working on cards like Zach had me actually working on cards at the National, where I was actually hand
Yes.
painting them. So, and I know that those ones sold really fast because people were watching me
Sure.
actually doing it.
Oh yeah,
So that to
I'd
me
buy it in a
is,
heartbeat.
yeah, that to me is exciting. And I think when I watched your show last week, I was so excited because of your job, what you did, talking about the art cards. Like I went instantly and looked up all the other artists. And I'm like, wow, this is so cool. I love this guy's stuff. I love that. I love, to me, creativity and anything to do with it is right up my alley. Like any TV show, anything, if they're creating a cake from scratch, I don't mind watching it, right?
Sure.
Motorcycle
Yeah.
from scratch. I love those shows. And knowing that all these artists are doing that, it's spectacular. And I'm super excited for this whole thing. I mean, I can see in the future having just art cards for having an art card show only.
Oh, absolutely. I
Why
don't know
not?
how you don't get there. And to your point, and thanks for watching the. I can only cover so many.
I
If
know.
I didn't have a day job, that video in episode would be 2 to 3 times as long. There's so many people doing such creative things, and like you said, they're all at different price points, and it's almost a no brainer. Your work though, so like the clay pieces you speak of, like how much does that run for? Just out of curiosity.
Most of my clays, like for instance, like a card piece, a Wayne Gretzky rookie card, I did 5. So those were sold out almost instantly because each one is different. I think I sell them for, I believe those ones are 2,500 to 3,500 each. And
Okay.
that's a 30 by 40 piece of art that's ready to hang.
Wow.
So they're not oversized or crazy overkill
Yep.
for anyone can fit a piece that big in their house.
Sure.
Yeah. So, and then, I do, giclées that are a little bigger, one of one artist proofs, which we make a lot bigger, larger, and I can add things to them for people. And I think we start those ones at like $4,500.
Okay.
So, we're not breaking the bank with those prices. Plus,
Sure.
they're
No.
very, very collectible because they're low numbered, and everyone's
Yeah.
certificate of authenticity, and
Sure.
so yeah, it's really, really it's incredible to see people that are getting that part of it. The low numbers of a G Clay. I know that I did prints back in the day with the NHL, where I had to do 1,000 prints of each, and signing 1,000 prints and getting athletes to sign 1,000 prints is hard.
Sure.
So, but then there's other artists that do prints and they do 20,000 prints, and to me, I'd rather keep them low because I understand this whole industry and the collectability of keeping it low or a true 101.
Sure.
And I'm sure I'm going to probably drop a few 101s soon. I'll let you know.
Please do.
Yeah, 101 cards. I'm thinking like a couple of my real cool Jordan pieces. I might even do this one back here as a 101 and see if we can't get him to sign it at one of the shows or something. I mean,
Yeah.
that'd be exciting. I mean,
I mean,
create a
that's the
wow.
easiest transition, like you said, from a sports card collector like myself. The easiest transition is going to the same size medium, right? No matter talk about 101 or to 5 or to 10, right? I think rarity wins the day for sure.
Yeah. Mhm.
But that transition's so simplistic. And then yeah, you can escalate into comic book size and then wall art and then right, it just grows from there. But making that first leap is what matters. I think you're
Yeah.
nailing it. And what you did with Collector Creative is spot on. I mean, those pieces, I'm still not over it. I don't have one, Murray. I
Oh
don't
no.
have one, and I'm bummed about it.
Well, that's what I
Just,
mean. They sold quite quickly, and I think
I
that's what
know.
it's like. I got another collector, and he's upset. He goes, "I wish I knew that was coming out. I want it." Like I said, "Well, I guess what we can start doing is start giving you guys heads up and saying we got one coming out next week. Keep your eyes open." And that's I guess how we do it. I mean, this is all
Yeah.
relatively new to me, but I'm really excited about it, and I think. Um, like I got some ideas, and that's all I ever do is sit there and think of ideas. And I think I'm going to do a Messi card. I'm going to do another a Jordan piece. Like I'm going to start doing some hockey ones for the Toronto show, I believe. And like it's it's stuff that I've got done already, and I've got the copies of them, and all I have to do is hand embellish each one, and they've become a true 101 after that. And I think that's really what's
Yeah,
exciting.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So all your commission work, what can people get commission from you? Can you commission any size artwork? Can you do art
Yeah.
cards by commission, comic book size, and wall art?
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? I've haven't taken a commission yet for a card. But if someone wanted me to do an actual, card size, 2.5 by 3.5 card piece, I could do it. And that would be really cool, because that'd be like a real original piece of art in a
Yeah,
card size. And my prices usually start for commissions. Um, so, you know, say 8 by 10 to 1824, I'm probably in the 3,500 to 5,500 range. And then it just goes up from there.
sure.
I've got some that, I'm up in the 25, 35, $40,000 range for the bigger pieces. Um, but yeah, anything, and I've done family pets, I've done, pretty much everything, right?
Yeah,
But I do like using my style though. So I tell people, if it is a portrait, a family portrait, it's going to be in my style, just so they're aware. There's going to be splashes and drips and,
sure.
craziness all
So
over.
that's good to know, though. It's not just sports. So I could send you a portrait of my beautiful wife and say, splatter some paint on her face, and you could get it
Yeah,
done.
yeah, yeah. And I do that. And what I do is when I work with someone, I give them the pencil sketch to make sure it's okay. You guys say yes, go ahead. Then I do work, like I'll send you updates. So let's say that's yours in the background.
Sure.
Um, I'd send you that picture and say, what do you think? And you could say, well, I need more reds on the bottom. I want more green. I want more orange. Can you put a saying on the bottom? So I work with whoever commissions me. So when you get the finished product, it's going to look kind of like what you saw and what you wanted on it. So that's how I've always worked. I just want it, when it gets there, it's exactly how they wanted it to look. So
Yeah, love it.
it's fun when I can collaborate and talk to the people who I'm painting for. So
Sure.
then they're a part of it too, right? That's
Yeah.
what's exciting. Like, you probably saw me at the National. I had kids helping me paint I was working on the what was it, the Dream Team, the big painting of the Dream Team magazine cover. And when I see a little kid come over and they're all wanting to know how to do it, I'd let them paint with me. So I'll put paint
Love
on
it.
the brush and say, "Come on, help me." And the parents are like, "What?" But that's fun. That means everyone's
Yeah.
collaborating. That's what this is all about. This whole industry is a collaboration.
I mean, that's the
So
other piece, right? Though it's you can't ever find that in the sports car space. It's not like Mr. Panini's going to come around and you're going to establish a rapport with him and have input into that Barry Sanders card I spoke of, right? No,
yeah,
in this space, I'm going to talk with Murray Henderson. I'm going to put my brush on his canvas
yeah.
and off we go. Like I already want to buy the piece.
Well, and that's. I mean, I've done that since day one, and it was all because of when I was a kid, being like an artist from birth, I guess. I always wanted to know like the techniques. My parents would take me to an art show, and I'd want to go right up to the artist and
Sure.
ask them like, "How'd you do that? Would you?" Then they'd shoo me away and stay away, don't touch, get away from me, and like, what? I just want to know what you're doing, and so that's why now when a kid comes up, parents freak out. I say, no, bring them over. I want to show them how to do this, and I'll dab the paint myself, tell them where to put it, and then they'll sit there and they'll take 10 minutes on a piece, even though they're just putting little lines on it. But it's exciting for them. It makes them feel good about themselves too. I think a kid loves that kind
Yeah,
of stuff,
absolutely.
interacting with an artist,
Absolutely.
and it's
They'll
awesome.
never forget it.
No.
What's the pinnacle for you? I feel like you've reached like 47 pinnacles, or what other people might consider the pinnacles. You've done custom work, you've met with professional athletes, you've done everything. But what for you has been the greatest high? Do you have a moment that stands out?
I love doing these shows and just having like an athlete stop by and just stop dead and talk to me about my art, because it really means a lot to them and they love it. That's the kind of thing I
Yeah.
think Michael Rubin, when he stopped and he just said, "Now that's what I'm talking about," and he stopped with his whole entourage, and they spent 20 minutes in my booth looking at everything, and that to me was really cool because he kind of got what I was trying to show,
Sure.
with the different style. And that's when his wife came back and talked to me about the commission, by the way. So that
Right.
was
Right.
that was very cool. At the Fanatics Fest, I had a lot of the athletes stop by and talk to me. They saw me painting, and they wanted to know if I could do them. And those kind of experiences to me they're the biggest uh, excitement to me. And working alongside with athletes, um, where they actually put their input into it. So they'll tell me like a favorite play or a favorite moment in their career, and I'm able to do that for them. Because, like say a Tom Brady, how many Tom Brady throwing a ball posters and cards and have you seen? But imagine if Tom
Sure.
Brady said, "Well, I got this moment when I was playing in Michigan where something happened, and I'm able to create that for him." That's what I like. And I
Yeah.
think that's what the athletes like too, is that I will do their moments, not what the fans want. And that's
Sure.
exciting to me.
Yeah, that's
Because you
awesome.
know what? They were part of it. They played it. It was them. So they obviously have a memory or something that stands out in their mind. And that's what makes it more personal to them when I work with them, I think. So
Yeah.
not just an action
Love it.
shot of them that they see all the time,
Sure.
right? Hmm.
So what's coming up for you, Murray? What's on tap? You've got 47 projects, I think, in progress, literally around you in the room right now. But
Yeah.
but
Um,
bigger picture, what's ahead for you? What can people look forward to?
well, I'm going to be dropping new cards probably once every 2 weeks now. Nothing crazy, just real cool pieces that I think are going to work in this end of things. Um,
And are those
there's
coming
been,
out on your Instagram, or where are people
I'll,
going to find that?
I'll probably introduce them on Instagram, Facebook, all those kind of places.
Okay.
And basically I'll do that throughout the year. And I think there's a few shows coming up. There's one in Chicago. I believe there's the big card show in November. I think it's the last weekend in November. And then there's the hockey card or the Toronto card show. I'm going to probably be there. And then I have, Art Basel. I have a couple things going on down in Miami at Art Basel. We got a Super Bowl event coming up, which is going to be really incredible. All that'll be sort of starting to be known. There's some stuff coming out on some documentaries coming out on my art as well.
Oh,
And
wow.
I personally can't say when or what, but it's coming very soon. And
Okay.
once it does all hit, I'll be able to put it on my Instagram so everyone can see what I'm talking about. But there's a lot of stuff happening in the next year that are just incredibly crazy. And like I've actually got two pieces that are going to the moon with the Pink Floyd's sax player.
Oh, wow.
He's yeah, and it's his name's Scott Page, and he's sending two of my pieces to the moon.
That's
Um,
incredible.
so so that may be a piece that I collaborate with him and we do a card around it and call it 101 to the moon or something. And I think
Sure.
that'd be exciting.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so there's lots of little things that are happening throughout, and like I got two or three commissions in the last couple of days just from the national, and they're still trickling in from Fanatics Fest, and I got people contacting me from last year's national in Cleveland still. So it's pretty incredible. It's starting to kind of get to the point where I do have to maybe concentrate on one at a time because I can get lost, right? As you saw
Yeah.
upstairs, I got that big piece that I have to create and
Right.
get that finished and shipped off to Chicago. And um, I've got the card pieces are in my mind, and I don't want to say exactly what they are, but they're going to be cool. And you can watch for those.
I will.
And what I'll do is I'll put a couple aside for you, so you know you're going to get one this time, maybe if you want.
Yes, yes. And let me know when you figure out a price for a custom art card size piece. Let me know the
well,
price point. I'm all
well,
over.
you know what? I think if you want to, like, you've got the connection and the crowd for that, so maybe someone could reach out and give me a reasonable uh, starting point, because as I say, this is new to me. I know what I charge for my original paintings. Um, like, would $2,000 be out of the question to have an actual hand painted, hand drawn original card? I don't know.
Sure.
That's what I gotta figure that out. And maybe we could get people telling us their opinion on what they think.
There you go. Would love it.
Like, yeah, I'd
Help
be
Murray
I'd be
Henderson price his pieces. Don't lowball him either.
Yeah, no, I don't like that. That's the one thing being an artist, that people see the finished product, they don't realize the hours and the time it takes, and the
Can't
research,
imagine.
and it's a lot of work. And I always say to people, if I was a lawyer or a doctor, you wouldn't be questioning my prices,
That's right.
right?
Give me context. Give the viewers context quickly. Like what does it take to produce a wall size art piece for you?
It's a lot. I mean, so first off, I have to get the proper images, and a lot of times, working with an athlete, let's say, I sometimes have to combine 3 or 4 different shots of them to make it look right. So you get a great
Sure.
face shot of someone, but the rest of the body's covered, or it's not there. So I have to find other pictures that work with it or make it up myself, so it is part of the action that I do. So that takes a long time to actually draw it out. The pencil part for me is the longest, hardest part, is getting the sketch to look right. Then I know that the next step would be my airbrushing, which the airbrush, I do a wash over every painting. So like a wash, this has a light gray. You can't see it now because I've went over it a few times, but I do a wash over the canvas. Then I rub it away. Then I do airbrush. So the airbrush is getting the facial features, and I'm quite good at matching and doing all that now. So that's sort of the second step, and then the third step is coming up with the colors and the splashes and the backgrounds. Um, all in all, a big piece would usually take me anywhere from 3 weeks to, I've done one, it took me like literally almost a year. And that's because of the detail and different things in it. So there's a lot of time into it.
And
I
that's the
never.
level of effort that I think people need to appreciate it. Because to your point, you just see things and you assume. And in 2025, I just had Wax Packs on earlier in the week.
Mhm.
Pete, another fellow Canadian, which is why I call it Canadian Week around here.
Yeah.
And we talked about, in the world of 2025, you have artists that are using AI or Photoshop, and they can spit out a piece in 30 minutes, right, or less.
Yeah.
And there's no question. The other thing I love about you is there's no question the origin of your work, right? Where did it come from? We know it came straight from your mind and your hand. And there is time and energy, and there's sweat, there's blood, love, and tears all over your canvas, and you see it, and you can't even appreciate, I think, the depths that you go to. I think some can with the right eye, but I appreciate you walking us through that. It's amazing what you do and the level of effort you go to. For me, it shines through in every piece you do. It's epic. And I'll
Well,
tell you why I love the art card space, Murray. I would have never found you if it wasn't for art cards. I would have never
I
found you
appreciate
unless I
it.
stumbled upon you on a show.
Yeah, and
I,
I truly appreciate it. I love that's happened, and I think, yeah, AI is really changing the art world, but I think the people who realize that we still need the human touch, and I think it's going to actually excel all of the artists that create with paint and
yes,
drawing and charcoal and whatever. We're always going to need that, and I think it's going to excel all of us artists around the world even more so, because people are going to want the authentic piece of art still.
I think you nailed it. The sports card industry, you know it well, has boomed recently, right? It's just like in this perpetual state of boom, it feels like.
Mhm.
But what's most wanted? The older pieces, right? And
Yes.
and it's 2014 flawless football is better than 2024 flawless football. That's
Yeah.
the way it goes because as technology advances and everything advances, people want it from earlier, the $12 million dual logo man, right? And
Hmm.
I'm with you. I'm gonna want the original piece of art from Murray Henderson instead of some AI image produced by your grandson in 20 years from now.
Yeah, yeah, and that's exactly what I think. And I think it's going to happen. I think that more and more people are going to be asking, I want real art. And I don't
Yes.
mean I don't mean to sound negative. Like when I say real art, I mean actually hand created by man. And
Yeah.
that's important to keep that in mind. And a lot of people's got to start maybe watching for that too.
Sure.
So you don't want to spend thousands of dollars and realize it was just, created in 2 minutes.
That's right.
I don't
That's right.
think.
I'm with you there. And I want the story too. And I love that you connect with your buyer and it just adds so much. That personal touch, it's
Yeah.
everything I want. I love this conversation, Murray. Like I said, I've learned more and I've done my research. I've done my homework on
Yeah.
you. And I'm still learning. What do you want to see for the collectible art space? And then I'll get you on your way. You're more astute and aware than most are in this. You've made the transition from actual sort of canvas wall art to the art collectible space. Is it the future? Is this what's going to do it for you and other collectors? What do you want to see in the space?
Yeah, I think for me it's basically got me, like as you say, you wouldn't have met me if it wasn't for the art cards. So there's a
It's
lot of
true.
people who may have never seen my actual original artwork. However, they've seen it now because I've done cards, so they want to see what the actual art looks like. And that
Yeah.
is going to open the door for me with my larger pieces, but it's also opening the door for me for a whole new aspect of a collector, which I didn't have until the national. So now I have to start creating these cards too, so I can get my art out there on a different aspect. And I think that's my excitement, is that now I might be able to do even more and get my stuff in more places than I ever was able to before. And that is exciting as an artist because like we put in the time. Like I've done so many art shows, I've done so many appearances, and I do get to know people and become friends with a lot of my collectors. Like a lot of my collectors are now friends. Like we get together and say at the national, we'll go out for dinner and we'll have a beer or whatever it is. We go out and we actually we become friends through my artwork, and I love that. And I think that is very personal for people, because if it's in their house, or you have one of my cards on your desk or something, oh yeah, I know Murray is a personal friend, and that goes a long way too, as part of the conversation piece too. So I love
Yeah.
that. You know, that's where I see
Yeah.
my art going. Is I kind of it sounds kind of, I don't know, not cocky, but I want to be the next Leroy Neiman. I want to be known by
Yes.
everybody. And you know what? This industry, the cards, this is helping, because I bet you I've got hundreds of more people that have seen my art now because of the cards that would have
I have
never
no
seen it.
doubt.
And I love it.
I have no doubt.
Maybe
I'm
thousands.
convinced, right? This extra skew, this extra revenue stream. To your point, it's not just that, which is a bonus in and of itself, but
Yeah.
it's a gateway. It's a gateway to the whole world of Murray Henderson and your entire portfolio.
Well,
I'm
and
hyped for it because
it's gone opposite too. I've got people who have been collecting my big pieces who found out I have card pieces, so they've come backwards from collecting my art, and they're buying the
that's
cards,
great.
or they
That's
want
great.
to be on the list for every card that I produce. So you see,
Yes,
it's reversed too. It can work both
sure,
ways, and that's true
absolutely love it.
for every artist, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
like I know most of the other guys that are, like, I know Jordan Spector, and I know, and I've exhibited beside him in art shows, and we talk art all the time, and and then we see all the cards coming out, and Andy Friedman, look at him, he's been doing it for years, and like the greatest guys in the world. We're all personable. We just love talking to people, and I think this is exciting. We're on the tip of this is the beginning of something incredible, I believe.
I think you're right. I think Jordan Spector is a great guy. He was on the show as well,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I love the transition. Is there anything else you want to leave us with today, Murray? I could literally talk to you for hours. I'm so honored and humbled, truly, to have you on the show.
Well,
I mean it
I'm
when I say
happy.
you're a legend. I mean, you're just an absolute legend.
Well, thank you so much. So are you. You're doing a great job getting it out there, and that's what we need. And anyone wants to reach out, my Instagram is just Murray_Henderson. Um, contact me through there. I usually answer everybody, or anyone who's interested in commissions, just let me know. You can get a hold of me, on my website, it's murrayhendersonart.com. And let's grow this business for all of us. Let's continue this excitement. I think it's awesome.
Let's do it. Flood Murray Henderson with custom requests. He doesn't have enough going on. I want
Yeah.
to. I want to see him have a third floor and fourth floor to his studio. You're amazing. Thank you so much for your time, and we'll talk again soon.
All right. Thank you so much for your time. Thanks.
Absolutely. Take care, sir.
Bye-bye.
Until next time, stay sharp, chase smart.